Uh-oh. The Nailsin ratings declares this is not the way. So here we are at Cosmic Book News. It's not an April Fool's joke. The Nailsin ratings, and this is after Samba TV was revealing their numbers, which is a smaller scale, but nevertheless it gives you a picture of how bad things are for Mandalorian, and it's dropped to nearly 40%. And Disney Plus is in trouble overall, but their flagship show, being The Mandalorian, was their big smash hit, and it was. By the way, Captain Boogerhead, I think, is gone now, so there's that. But anyway, so the numbers kept coming out, and it's terrible. And not surprising at all. So there's the list of, oh, look, Netflix still on top, or at least back on top, and it's basically resetting to where it was. So there's Mandalorian. Well, you got 5th place. That's something. But you're under NCIS. I don't even know what Outer Banks is. The Murdaugh murders thing and all that. Man. So, So that's not good. And that's it. There's nothing else from. Oh wait, Bluesy. All right, so Bluesy managed to get in there. So there you go, Disney. You got 2 in the top 10. So, gee, what happened? Well, Mandalorian is a sabotaged show. It had managed to achieve what seemed impossible, which it had restored Star Wars. There was a chance, there was hope for it, and then less than a month after that season 2 finale, it was completely trashed. And then what do you follow it with? So I suspect it was taken completely off course from what it was originally supposed to do, and the follow-up was a terrible Boba Fett show, just awful. And it was all over the place and didn't seem to know where it was going. And the character was badly handled, even to the acknowledgement of the actor saying, "Yeah, they shouldn't have done it like this, and they should have done that." Yeah, it's not his fault, obviously. And then stupid stuff thrown in, and then actually the 2 Mandalorian episodes that were shoehorned into it were better than Mandalorian season 3. So it's kind of like, man. But anyway, again, the direction is sabotaged. It's one of these things when you have a specific direction and for whatever reason you can't do it, so you got to shift to something else. There was no plan B. And it's still kind of flailing about. The whole setup, even beyond the Luke Skywalker return and all that, which got everybody excited. The story of Grogu and Din Djarin had a pivotal moment there where they separated. And I understand the merchandising, and that baby Grogu is the only toy they got that sells. So he's got to be in the show. Well, he could have been, narratively speaking. But he should have been off training as a Jedi. And I mean, there's ways to shoot it if you can't afford to constantly CGI Luke in there. You could shoot a hooded figure from behind as Grogu is and stuff like that. And especially that flashback scene revealing what Grogu went through in Order 66. Anakin should have been in there. And also, I think it would have been so much more powerful if this was like a shared Force vision between Luke and Grogu, and especially Luke seeing his father as he was then, and that sort of thing. Missed opportunity all around, that sort of thing. But they just bring him back together and off to the side say, well, he was there for 2 years. And then the business of Din Djarin, he's still not in his own show. You know, it's the Bo-Katan story, which is fine in and of itself, but not at the expense of Din Djarin. And we should have got way more of his story. And you could have had a parallel narratives of the two, and they meet at the end of the season, or reunite at the end of the season, and that kind of thing. Just completely scuttled it and messed up. This is very similar to WandaVision, where Doctor Strange was supposed to be in it, but then they suddenly realized he was a white man. So that's what they said. So they took him out. And they didn't have anything to replace the original plot. You know, not really, nothing good. You know, and they end up with Wanda being a horrific villain, yet they still want to pass her off as sympathetic. It doesn't work like that. So it's a sabotage show. And they lost a lot of people after that Gina Carano mess. And then they followed this up with two very terrible shows. And Boba Fett and Obi-Wan just, I mean, I think that sealed the deal of how badly that went. Andor's interesting. I enjoyed it, but everyone's saying I don't like it because it's not Star Wars. I can't argue with that. You know, had the other shows been strong, and Mandalorian was allowed to go on restoring Star Wars, Andor would be in a much better spot. That people would be more open to some offshoot experimental show type thing, you know. But no one's in the mood for it now because this is a badly damaged brand. Anything can recover, certainly narratively, but they've got a Mount Everest hill to climb in order to achieve that. And of course, the obvious thing would be the ultimate retcon. If they did that, that would generate excitement. You still got a ways to go. You have to plot stories well. You have to develop your characters well. You don't just throw them in there. So it's no surprise. You know, it says, yeah, but it's Mandalorian. Yeah, but that's worn off. And everyone's very much aware of the sabotage that was done to it. And they just don't trust the brand anymore. So, as it is, and the season is just sort of flailing about, it's not that good. And so, continue this, this assessment will continue. And it's sad, and it was all unnecessary. But it happened.